Something unexpected happened today involving Ripa and Mark Consuelos, and fans noticed it immediately. It wasn't loud, it wasn't dramatic, but it felt different. In a moment that quietly unfolded, Kelly and Mark shared an update that caught viewers off guard, not because of what they said, but because of how they said it. This subtle update quickly became a talking point among fans, sparking conversations across social media and leaving many wondering what it really meant. Stay with us, because what happened next explains why this moment is being called a breaking update by fans. Let's be clear, this isn't breaking news in the traditional sense. There was no emergency announcement, no shocking confession, no dramatic headline. So why are fans calling it breaking? Because Ripa and Mark Consuelos are known for being open, polished, and upbeat, especially on live television. When something feels unplanned, gentle, and deeply human, fans instantly notice. Today's update stood out because the tone felt calmer than usual. Their body language spoke louder than words. The moment felt personal, not scripted. In today's media world, moments like that are rare, and that's exactly why fans reacted. During a routine segment, Kelly and Mark appeared as usual, smiling, relaxed, and professional, but attentive viewers quickly picked up on subtle changes. Kelly paused slightly longer before speaking. Mark listened more closely than usual. There was an unspoken understanding between them. Nothing was said outright, yet everything felt communicated. This wasn't a performance, it was a shared moment. Fans later described it as quietly emotional, unexpectedly touching, very real. Sometimes, the smallest moments leave the biggest impact. Ripa and Mark Consuelos aren't just TV personalities, they represent something familiar to many viewers. They've shared their family journey, their long marriage, parenting stories, career highs and lows. That openness creates trust, so when fans sense even a small shift, they pay attention. Today's update felt like a reminder of partnership, a moment of reflection, a pause in the usual fast-paced TV world, and that's why it resonated. So what exactly was the update? It wasn't a major announcement. It wasn't a headline-making revelation. The surprise was the tone. Instead of energy and humor, there was calm. Instead of jokes, there was sincerity. Instead of routine, there was intention. Kelly and Mark seemed fully present, not just as hosts, but as people. For many fans, that was more meaningful than any dramatic news could have been. Almost immediately, fans began reacting online. Some said this felt different in a good way. You could feel the emotion without words. They didn't need to explain anything. It was clear. Others appreciated the authenticity. This is why we love them. Real moments matter more than big announcements. The reaction proved one thing: audiences are craving honesty, not hype. Kelly and Mark have always emphasized balance between work, family, and personal growth. Today's update reflected that philosophy. It showed mutual respect, emotional awareness, a shared sense of calm. Rather than oversharing, they allowed viewers to simply witness a moment, and that restraint made it powerful. Why this moment matters in today's media. In an era of constant breaking headlines, loud opinions, and viral drama, this moment stood out because it did the opposite. It slowed things down. It invited reflection. It reminded viewers that connection doesn't always need explanation. That's why fans labeled it surprising, because it felt genuine. This moment doesn't signal a major change, but it does highlight why Ripa and Mark Consuelos remain so respected. They understand when to speak, when to pause, when to let silence communicate. That emotional intelligence keeps audiences engaged year after year. Long-term partnerships aren't built on constant excitements, they're built on understanding. What fans saw today was comfort, trust, shared history, And that's something viewers connect with deeply, especially those who have followed their journey for years. This update will be remembered not because of headlines, but because of feeling. It reminded viewers that not all updates need explanation. Not all news needs drama. Sometimes presence is the message, and in a noisy world, that quiet moment spoke volumes. As today's moment slowly fades from the screen, one thing becomes very clear. Not every powerful update needs big words, dramatic music, or shocking headlines. Some moments stay with us because they feel real, because they reflect something we recognize in our own lives. What Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos shared today wasn't loud. It wasn't designed to go viral. Yet somehow, it reached people in a way that carefully planned segments rarely do. There was a calm presence, a shared understanding, a quiet strength between two people who have walked through decades of life together, not just in front of cameras, but beyond them. And maybe that's why this moment mattered so much. In a world that moves too fast, where everything demands immediate reactions, Kelly and Mark reminded us that it's okay to pause, it's okay to breathe, it's okay to let silence speak. Many fans didn't need an explanation. They didn't need details. They simply felt it. They saw partnership, the kind built over time, through patience, trust, and shared experience. They saw respect in the way Mark listened and reassurance in the way Kelly spoke. These were not performers playing roles. These were two people completely present in the moment. And for viewers watching from home, that presence felt comforting. Because life isn't always dramatic. Most of our meaningful moments are quiet ones. Moments where nothing big happens, yet everything feels important. Moments where connection doesn't need words. That's what made today's update surprising. Not because something changed, but because it reminded us of what remains steady. Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos have always invited viewers into their world with honesty and warmth. Over the years, they've shared laughter, family stories, and everyday reflections that feel familiar to so many people. But today, they shared something even simpler: authenticity. And authenticity has a way of staying with us long after the screen goes dark. For some viewers, this moment may have brought comfort. For others, it may have sparked reflection about relationships, about balance, about slowing down in a world that rarely allows it. And perhaps that's the quiet power of moments like this. They don't tell us what to think. They don't demand attention. They simply invite us to feel. As fans continue to talk about what they noticed today, one thing is certain: this wasn't just another segment. It was a reminder that connection doesn't always need explanation, and love doesn't always need display. Sometimes it shows up in the way someone listens, in the way someone pauses, in the way two people share a moment without needing to explain it to anyone else. And that's why this update will stay with people. Because in a world full of noise, Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos gave viewers something rare: a moment of quiet understanding. And sometimes, that's exactly what we need.